As the heavenly demon whale witnessed the overwhelming destructive power, it was just about to help Xiao Yan when Song Yao stopped it. "Xiao Yan, watch out," he warned. "Don't go near it, or you'll be consumed by that force instantly," Song Yao added urgently. "But Xiao Yan," the heavenly demon whale protested, worried that if something happened to Xiao Yan, it would be nearly impossible to defeat the extraterritorial evil clan. "Trust me, he must have something on him to withstand this attack. Otherwise, he wouldn't be holding on like this," Song Yao reassured, preparing to unleash his strongest attack at any moment. Song Yao was initially very concerned about Xiao Yan. After all, ever since Xiao Yan obtained the Fireheart Heavenly Rock, Song Yao had suspected that Xiao Yan had inherited Xiao Mu's legacy. It was unlikely that fate would allow him to fall here. But just as Song Yao was about to stop his attack and go help Xiao Yan, an inexplicable power surged from Xiao Yan, puzzling even Song Yao. Unbeknownst to Song Yao, this was the power of the Soul-Devouring Talisman. He simply assumed it was a secret of the Xiao clan, leading to the current situation. Meanwhile, Mu Yingying was struggling as well. Although the evil force was targeting Xiao Yan, its impact on her was considerable, and she wanted to assist him. "No need." Xiao Yan's deep eyes flashed an eerie black as he spoke softly to Mu Yingying and her group. But, just as Mu Yingying was about to say more, the evil force struck directly in front of Xiao Yan. Boom, boom, boom. The terrifying evil energy erupted with immense suction, as if it intended to devour Xiao Yan in an instant. Facing this devastating attack, Xiao Yan let out a cold laugh. In an instant, the brilliant earth-yellow sacred flame surged from the sacred flame crystal, enveloping him. The sacred flame was so thick and liquid-like that it collided directly with the black evil force. Yet no one, not even the powerful Song Yao, noticed the faint sinister aura hidden within Xiao Yan's dazzling sacred flame. That sinister energy was, in fact, the power of the Soul-Devouring Talisman. The moment Xiao Yan felt the Soul-Devouring Talisman stir, he tried his best to communicate with it. Though he couldn't control it completely, Xiao Yan's senses told him that the talisman could help him in this situation. Without hesitation, he hid the talisman's scattered energy within his sacred flame, waiting for the right moment. Boom, boom, boom. The evil black force and Xiao Yan's earth-yellow sacred flame collided, sending invisible ripples through the space, making the air tremble slightly. Despite the strength of the evil energy, it couldn't harm Xiao Yan at all. In fact, under the resistance of Xiao Yan's sacred flame, the black beams began to dissolve at a visible rate. How is this possible? The heavenly demon whale, aware of the terrifying evil power contained within the black beams, strong enough to annihilate a peak Do Di, was shocked to see it so easily countered by Xiao Yan. Impossible. Deep within the purple cage, the twin ghost emperors exclaimed, their voices and expressions turning strange. They both knew that while the man wielding the massive ruler had sacred flame, his strength was far too weak. Either of them should have been able to kill him with a single blow. To be cautious, Nether Sovereign had used an extraordinarily powerful technique, aiming to kill Xiao Yan in one strike. Yet, to their disbelief, Xiao Yan had neutralized it with ease. Sacred flame. Xiao Yan shouted, "Devour!" Soon, though drenched in sweat, Xiao Yan's earth-yellow sacred flame devoured the black evil energy entirely. The faint black aura that remained was imperceptibly returned to Xiao Yan's storage ring, flowing back into the soul-devouring talisman. With that trace of evil energy absorbed, the previously dim soul-devouring talisman slowly began to regain its light. "Yingying now," Xiao Yan commanded, his voice sharp. Sacred flame essence, Skyshatter Earth Burial. Mu Yingying, her earlier worries swept away, summoned her own blazing blue flame. "Sacred flame essence, holy radiance," she cried out. The temperature in the grand hall skyrocketed as the sacred flame essences from both Xiao Yan and Mu Yingying filled the space. A primordial power, capable of purging all evil from the world, slowly began to emerge. "You think two mere children can kill us?" Nether Sovereign sneered, his expression dark. "Fools." However, the Underworld Sovereign reacted differently. He could sense an unprecedented force of destruction in the Do skills powered by the sacred flame essences that Xiao Yan and Mu Yingying had unleashed. If that attack hit them, even they, as powerful as they were, could face death. "We can't wait any longer," the underworld sovereign shouted. Despite their weak powers, the menacing gaze of Song Yao never wavered. "Treading carefully is important. After all, we're dealing with a disciple of Jiao Yu Fairy. We absolutely cannot repeat our previous mistakes," said the underworld sovereign. As his words faded, black mist, as deep and boundless as an abyss, surged from his body, filling the entire purple cage in an instant. With the underworld sovereign's terrifying power erupting, the purple cage began to tremble and hum violently. "This won't hold," said the jade rabbit with a worried look on her face. "The purple crystal cage can't withstand such overwhelming force. It's going to break. What happens if it breaks?" Yuru asked in confusion. The purple crystal cage is a formation designed to imprison the netherworld dual sovereigns. Though the formation has weakened over time, the seal itself is still incredibly strong, the jade rabbit explained, her expression grave. "However, after thousands of years, I fear the seal may already be on the verge of breaking. If it shatters, the netherworld dual sovereign's powers will instantly return to their peak, reaching the level of peak Do D." Her tone grew even more serious. Suddenly, the nether sovereign let out a malicious aura, clearly intent on shattering the formation that bound them. If the cage were to break, they were confident that with their full strength restored, they could kill both sacred flame wielders. As for Jiao Yu Fairy's disciple, they couldn't kill her, but she would be powerless against them. After all, they still had their trump cards. "Netherworld dual sovereigns, meet your end." Xiao Yan's eyes flickered with a hint of madness. In his hands, 2 orbs of sacred flame energy materialized instantly. Without hesitation, he leapt toward the nearly shattered purple cage. At the same time, Song Yao's attack finally formed. In her eyes, a radiant force of life and death swirled, and she gently pulled back her silver moon bow. A black and white arrow of life and death appeared, aimed directly at the netherworld dual sovereigns within the cage. In that instant, Xiao Yan's twin sacred flame orbs, combined with Song Yao's deadly silver moon bow, closed in on the netherworld dual sovereigns. Seeing this, their once cold black eyes grew solemn. "Pathetic humans," the netherworld dual sovereigns sneered. But they knew, even though Xiao Yan's strength was weak, the sacred flames in his hands possessed enough power to severely wound them. And with Song Yao's fatal strike, backed by her Do Xian strength, they were in grave danger. "What should we do?" the underworld sovereign asked anxiously, sensing the perilous situation. "We fight back. There's a slim chance," the nether sovereign responded. "Besides, I'm getting a strange feeling. That boy with the heavy ruler on his back. He reeks of the Blood Demon Clan." "The Blood Demon Clan? How could a human have our clan's power?" the underworld sovereign wondered aloud. "The sacred flame should reject any presence of our kind. This is bizarre." "Attack now!" the nether sovereign barked as Xiao Yan and Song Yao's combined assaults neared. A dark force suddenly erupted from between his brows. Netherworld. Blood burst. With their powers pushed to the limit, the netherworld dual sovereigns unleashed a terrifying, eerie sound. They knew they couldn't sit idle, or they'd be obliterated. But even as their terrifying move echoed through the hall, nothing substantial materialized. Xiao Yan's fists, charged with twin sacred flame orbs, combined with Song Yao's silver moon bow, seemed too overwhelming for them to handle. "Netherworld dual sovereigns, perish already," Xiao Yan roared, his sacred flames carrying a mysterious energy capable of purging all things. His blood-colored pupils gleamed as he struck at them with terrifying force. "Brat, even though you wield 2 sacred flames, you can't kill us so easily," the nether sovereign snarled. As soon as he spoke, the purple cage finally shattered. A twisted, blood-red mist emerged instantly before the 2 sovereigns, carrying an incredibly sinister energy that sent shivers down everyone's spine. The blood mist hovered in the air, pulling the air toward it with a strong gravitational force. "What a powerful pull!" Xiao Yan moved quickly, but couldn't match the speed of the Netherworld dual sovereigns. By the time the mist rose, he had only just reached them. Without hesitation, Xiao Yan clenched his fists, aiming a powerful attack at the Netherworld dual sovereigns. Boom, boom, boom. In the next instant, Song Yu's silver moon bow silently tore through the void, piercing straight into the bodies of the Netherworld dual sovereigns. These two, what are they doing? Have they given up? Waiting to die? Xiao Yan's eyes twitched as he watched the Netherworld dual sovereigns, enveloped in a bloody mist, cease all resistance and leave themselves open to attack. An uneasy feeling stirred in him, as if sensing something ominous about to unfold. Strangely, the blood demon golden chi within his body was reacting intensely, though he couldn't tell why. Just moments ago, Xiao Yan had infused a significant amount of Soul-Devouring Talisman's power into 2 clusters of sacred flame essence. Given the talisman's mysterious nature and its ability to devour the power of the extraterritorial evil clan, the dual sovereigns, who were powerful enough to rival even a peak Do-D, were clearly the perfect targets for it. Arg! What is this thing? A few breaths later, both sovereigns let out agonizing screams, their voices filled with suffering. It seems the soul-devouring talisman has started working, Xiao Yan muttered, a flicker of joy flashing across his face. As their anguished cries grew louder, the overwhelming force of their previous attacks gradually dissipated. Xiao Yan's gaze locked onto the sovereigns, now cloaked in a thick mist of blood. What the? Song Yu gasped, unable to hold back her words. Hearing her tone laced with anger, Xiao Yan shifted his focus to where the dual sovereigns hovered. Above them, the blood mist remained thick, pulsating with a powerful suction force. It was unclear what the two were trying to accomplish. But under the combined assault of Xiao Yan's sacred flame and Song Yu's silver moon bow, their forms had been completely shattered, reduced to 2 faint black shadows, barely clinging to existence. Damn it! Damn it! Damn it, you little brat! The enraged roars of the Netherworld dual sovereigns echoed through the hall. Their power drained and bodies missing, they were now nothing more than remnants of their former selves. Wary of a sudden retaliation, Song Yu immediately moved in front of Xiao Yan, shielding him. She feared the sovereigns might still lash out, despite being severely weakened. Although using the silver moon bow had exhausted a great deal of her strength, the damage they'd inflicted on the sovereigns made it all worthwhile. Xiao Yan, however, was bewildered by the sovereign's furious outburst. But in the next moment, clarity struck him. He finally understood why they were so enraged. Cough, cough. An intense wave of discomfort surged through Xiao Yan's body. Through the haze of pain, he sensed an overwhelming power being absorbed directly into the storage ring on his finger, siphoned through the soul-devouring talisman. What the? Xiao Yan cursed inwardly. I didn't know it could do this. Although he had indeed infused the soul-devouring talisman into the sacred flames, he hadn't anticipated that it would go so far as to draw the dual sovereign's strength into his storage ring and then devour it entirely. To make matters worse, the talisman had begun absorbing a substantial amount of extraterritorial evil clan energy, triggering a profound transformation within itself. Looks like I'll have to study this talisman closely once we leave these ruins. It's clearly linked to the ghost realm, and if I don't figure out how it works... Xiao Yan trailed off, uneasy at the thought of what might happen if he left it unchecked. His gaze sharpened as he focused on the 2 dark silhouettes that were all that remained of the Netherworld dual sovereigns. You little rat. We'll tear you limb from limb. The shadows trembled with fury, their stolen power leaving them on the verge of collapse. Let's get out of here. One of them growled. Remember what the humans say. As long as the green hills remain, there will always be firewood to burn. The black shadows hissed with malice as they retreated into the blood mist. Next time, little rat, you'll know the true meaning of fear, they snarled before vanishing into the swirling crimson haze. Seeing the Netherworld dual sovereigns attempt to escape, Song Yu's expression darkened. With a sudden movement, her aura erupted, and life and death force surged from her body like a powerful spring. Today will be your last, she declared coldly. A shimmering energy, a perfect fusion of life and death, began to coalesce in the palm of her hand. If this strike landed, the dual sovereigns would be obliterated for good. Blood Demon Envoy, save us. Just as Songyu prepared to unleash her attack, the two shadows, now barely clinging to existence, cried out desperately. Their voices echoed throughout the grand hall. Suddenly, a crack formed in the seemingly impenetrable ceiling, revealing a dark and unfamiliar figure beyond. That hall was supposed to be indestructible. How did it get opened? Gasped Jade Rabbit Spirit, her voice tinged with disbelief. A moment later, a figure draped in a black cloak descended through the gap, radiating an aura so malevolent and overwhelming it seemed capable of wiping out entire worlds. The cloaked figure landed silently in front of the Netherworld dual sovereigns, standing protectively amidst the swirling blood mist. Well, did you get it? The figure in the black robe asked the Netherworld dual sovereigns. Yes, the Nether sovereign replied, pulling out a silver stone from his shadowy figure, something even Xiao Yan hadn't noticed. The silver stone, about the size of a fist, was covered in intricate, obscure runes. That's my master's inheritance, you beast, Songyu cursed, her delicate brows furrowing as tears welled up in her eyes. What? Xiao Yan's brows instantly knit together upon hearing this. From the silver stone, a radiant energy slowly began to emerge, and as it did, Yuru, standing nearby, felt it most intensely. The inheritance rune on Yuru's forehead started to glow brightly. We can't let them escape, Songyu snorted coldly. The Netherworld dual sovereigns were already gravely injured. This was the perfect opportunity to take them down. If they escaped now, punishing them in the future would be nearly impossible. And the inheritance of her master was still in their hands. The legacy of the Jiaoyu fairy is far too powerful. If a human inherits it again, another Do Xian will surely rise, bringing us endless trouble. It would be best if I take it back and seal it away, came a calm, eerie laugh from beneath the Blood Demon Envoy's black robe. He showed no fear, even when faced with the two sacred flames and Songyu. This guy, it must be the one possessing Qi Haoqing's body. I thought Qi Haoqing was only marked with the blood curse, but it turns out the curse belongs to the Blood Demon Envoy. This terrifying aura, it won't be easy to deal with him, Xiao Yan thought. He's not the true Blood Demon Envoy, Songyu explained, her eyes flashing with killing intent. The Blood Demon Envoy is the most powerful figure of the Blood Demon clan, a Do Xian tier powerhouse. The one before us feels similar, but his strength hasn't reached Do Xian. At best, he's at the peak of Do Di. He's likely a human vessel carrying the Blood Demon Envoy's original power. So, calling him the Blood Demon Envoy isn't wrong, she added. Haha, Songyu, disciple of the Jiaoyu fairy. The figure beneath the blood-red robe chuckled. You're right, I'm not the true Blood Demon Envoy. But even so, you few won't be able to stop us from leaving. Attack! Songyu shouted. She didn't waste any more time. Her master's inheritance was in their hands, and hesitation wasn't an option. Boom! As soon as her voice fell, a brilliant force of life and death surged from between her brows, creating an indescribable storm of destruction in the space around them. A Do Xian's power really lives up to its reputation, the Blood Demon Envoy muttered. Although I can't defeat you now, he trailed off, his figure suddenly bursting into motion, darting toward another target. Not good. Xiao Yan had been keeping a close watch on him. The moment the Blood Demon Envoy moved, Xiao Yan realized he was coming for them. Both he and Mu Yingying had sacred flames, and their weak state made them easy prey for the envoy. Go! Songyu's face tightened with urgency, and she unleashed the destructive storm towards the Blood Demon Envoy. Yet, despite her efforts, her attack was still a step too slow. Young man, you may have some secrets, but it all ends here. The Blood Demon Envoy's aged hand suddenly shot out from beneath his robe, a sphere of ominous, blood-red energy forming in his palm. The energy radiated a terrifying, destructive force, one that could obliterate everything in its path. Xiao Yan knew that if this attack landed, he would die on the spot. Die! The Blood Demon Envoy sneered, his attack hurtling toward Xiao Yan. Bang, bang, bang. As the devastating attack was unleashed, the space around Xiao Yan was sealed off by the blood demon envoy's powerful aura, leaving him unable to move. There's no other choice. Faced with the sudden onslaught, Xiao Yan pushed Mu Yingying aside with a burst of force and then slowly removed the ancient ruler of heavenly flames from his back, his pupils burning with intensity. The heaven-shifting ruler, could it stop this? Xiao Yan's eyes grew deep and serious. He knew this was no game. Failure here would mean his end. Xiao Yan. You! Mu Yingying cried out in alarm, her face pale. She, too, understood how powerful the blood demon envoy's attack was. Don't go. That attack is too strong. If you go now, it's suicide. Songyu reached out, grabbing Mu Yingying's arm as she prepared to act. Even Songyu, with her great power, felt a sense of helplessness in the face of the blood demon envoy. He's going to die. Mu Yingying shouted angrily. Trust him. Songyao wasn't sure why, but she had a strong feeling that anyone Xiaomu believed in couldn't possibly be an ordinary person. Hearing this, Mu Yingying fell silent. However, in that moment, not only did her pupils turn a deep blue, but her long, jet-black hair also shifted to the same hue. She whispered softly to herself, a voice only she could hear. If he gets hurt, then you will die. It was a pride rooted in absolute confidence in her own strength. And what Mu Yingying said wasn't entirely impossible. After all, her identity as the bearer of the sacred flame was no small matter. If things reached that final point, blood demon envoy, one day I will wipe out your entire clan. For his sake, Xiao Yan muttered quietly. In the next instant, a brilliant earthy yellow sacred flame erupted from the ancient ruler of heavenly flames. At this critical moment, Xiao Yan knew he had only one shot and couldn't afford any mistakes. Brat, prepare to die. As Xiao Yan readied himself, the blood demon envoy's attack had already descended upon him, closing in at terrifying speed. At the same time, everyone watching held their breath. Yuru and Mu Yingying struggled to restrain themselves from intervening, but just as they were about to act, an extraordinary surge of energy resonated from the two combatants. Heaven-shifting ruler. Shift. With a loud roar, Xiao Yan directed the brilliant ancient ruler of heavenly flames straight at the blood demon envoy's attack. Seeking death, the blood demon envoy sneered coldly. But in the very next moment, the devastating power of the blood demon envoy's attack, capable of obliterating a peak do D, suddenly vanished without a trace upon contact with Xiao Yan's ruler. The ancient ruler of heavenly flames, however, struck the blood demon envoy's black robe with full force. The crowd was utterly stunned. Heaven-shifting ruler. Xiao Yan shouted once again. At that instant, the blood demon envoy, still cloaked in his black robe, felt a shock like never before. How could his deadly attack disappear in front of this boy's strike? Even though Xiao Yan possessed the sacred flame, his strength should have been far too weak to pull off such a terrifying feat. The blood demon envoy's gaze shifted to Songyao. If anyone here could wield such immense power, it had to be her. No, it's that ruler. There's something strange about it. The realization came too late. In the blink of an eye, the blood demon envoy's figure leapt back in an attempt to dodge Xiao Yan's attack. But Xiao Yan's strike, imbued with the sacred flame's power, was not something so easily avoided. Boom, boom, boom. The earthy yellow sacred flame, enveloping the ancient ruler of heavenly flames, slammed heavily into the blood demon envoy's black robe. A series of deafening crashes echoed out from beneath the black robe, which now burned with traces of the sacred flame left by Xiao Yan's attack. Songyao, seeing this, extended her jade-like hand and struck down fiercely. Thud. Under the combined force of Xiao Yan and Songyao's assault, the blood demon envoy spat out a mouthful of black blood, his aura plummeting. Even his black robe continued to burn with the remnants of the earthy yellow sacred flame. Damn it! The blood demon envoy still couldn't comprehend how his devastating attack had simply vanished. Yet the damage from Xiao Yan's sacred flame and Songyao's strike was undeniable. Boom, boom, boom. Meanwhile, on Jade Rabbit Island, the blood demon envoy's catastrophic attack, which had disappeared earlier, suddenly materialized. The sky was filled with destructive power that rained down upon half of the island, reducing it to nothing in an instant. Such was the terrifying might of the blood demon envoy's original power, which had been channeled through Qi Haoqing's body. But the unique power of the heaven-shifting ruler allowed Xiao Yan to transfer the attack elsewhere, a miraculous ability unique to the ruler itself. However, Xiao Yan wasn't unscathed. While he had successfully diverted the attack, he had done so by relying on the strength of a perfect 6-star Do Di, and it had pushed him to his limits. If not for the Sacred Flame's suppressive effect on the Blood Demon Envoy, he likely wouldn't have managed such a terrifying blow. Xiao Yan, assist me, Song Yao shouted with a cold snort. She now understood what Xiao Yan's earlier technique had accomplished, but there was no time to mourn the destruction of half of Jade Rabbit Island. The body housing the Blood Demon Envoy's original power was now injured. They had to kill him at all costs, or it would lead to even greater trouble. The inheritance stone of Jiao Yu Fairy was still in the hands of the Blood Demon Envoy, and that alone was enough reason to stop him. Rock-splitting burial. Though his internal energy had been thrown into chaos by the Blood Demon Envoy's attack, Xiao Yan didn't hesitate. Without a second thought, he swallowed handfuls of high-tier pills as if they were worthless. With the pills coursing through him, his energy pathways slowly stabilized. But this time, Xiao Yan's rock-splitting burial was stronger than ever. I miscalculated. If not for the fact that he only possessed a fragment of the Blood Demon Envoy's original power, these two in front of him would have already been slain in an instant. But now, the Blood Demon Envoy didn't have time to think about such things. The most pressing issue at the moment was to take the inheritance stone of Jiao Yu Fairy, then rescue the Netherworld dual sovereigns. Everything else could wait until later. With this plan in mind, the Blood Demon Envoy realized that continuing to fight Song Yao would only end badly for him, so he began contemplating retreat. That sliver of the Blood Demon Envoy's original power in him probably isn't enough to defeat Song Yao, came the sudden voice of the Nether Sovereign, hidden within the blood mist. Most likely, if the Blood Demon Envoy himself were here, Jiao Yu Fairy might have been a match for him. But since this guy only has a fragment of the original power, while he may not win, it won't be enough to keep us here, the Underworld Sovereign added. What kind of power does that cursed guy even have in his body? Just now, the two orbs of sacred flame he wielded absorbed most of our original power, the Underworld Sovereign said with venom, glaring fiercely at Xiao Yan. It was indeed strange. The Netherworld dual sovereigns were in a wretched state, and if not for the blood mist concealing them, their bodies might have already dissipated entirely. Xiao Yan's earlier attack had seemed fierce but, in reality, had forcibly drained half of their original power. This sudden loss of strength was the reason they now feared him. A bunch of brats. This envoy doesn't have time to play with you today. The Blood Demon Envoy snorted coldly, as waves of pitch-black demonic energy began spreading from beneath his feet. As the demonic energy dispersed, Xiao Yan's chest heaved heavily. If not for the sacred flame suppressing it, combined with Song Yao's group engaging the Blood Demon Envoy, his secrets might have been exposed. Jiao Yu's light. At that moment, Song Yao suddenly opened his eyes. In an instant, an intense, silvery power exploded from his pupils. Then, from his forehead, a silver beam, resembling lightning, shot toward the Blood Demon Envoy. The streaks of silver light were like dawn breaking through the darkness, illuminating the entire hall. What? That's Jiao Yu's light. The heavenly demon whale couldn't help but exclaim. Jiao Yu's light. What is that? Yuru asked, sensing a familiar energy from the silver beam emanating from Song Yao. It felt reminiscent of Jiao Yu Fairy's power. Jiao Yu's light is the signature Do skill of Jiao Yu Fairy, a terrifying attack capable of killing even Do Xian experts. The heavenly demon whale added, and the intensity of the battle in the hall surged. Crushing sky burial. Jiao Yu's light. Two thunderous roars shook the hall, as a radiant burst of sacred flame, pure enough to cleanse all evil, and a beam of light powerful enough to tear apart space, launched toward the Blood Demon Envoy. Not good. Retreat. The blood demon envoy had already been injured by Xiao Yan's sacred flame, and now facing these terrifying attacks, he dashed toward the blood mist, intent on escape. Go! Reaching the blood mist, the blood demon envoy grabbed the netherworld dual sovereigns with one hand and sped toward the breach he had created in the hall's ceiling. Where do you think you're going? Xiao Yan and Song Yao both shouted coldly in unison. It's too late. The nether sovereign, staring at the incoming attacks, spoke urgently. Go! Without hesitation, the blood demon envoy decisively hurled the inheritance stone of Jiao Yu Fairy toward another corner of the hall. Damn it! Seeing this, Song Yao leaped up, rushing to catch the inheritance stone. It couldn't be damaged. Ha ha ha. Song Yao, you two humans with sacred flame. The next time our extraterritorial evil clan descends, it will be your death. Enjoy these last moments of peace. The blood demon envoy, moving at an incredible speed, fled the hall, while the underworld sovereign's maniacal laughter echoed through the blood mist. But before the underworld sovereign could finish speaking, a massive ruler, glowing with earthen yellow flames, pierced through his body. Blood demon envoy, hurry! The nether sovereign, seeing this, panicked. The blood demon envoy was shocked, but with a flash, he vanished from the hall. Damn it! To think those two got away. Xiao Yan's gaze, filled with murderous intent, locked onto the spot where the blood demon envoy had disappeared. The grand hall fell silent. All eyes were on Xiao Yan, who hovered midair, the ancient ruler of heavenly flames still in hand, which had just pierced through the underworld sovereign. Xiao Yan moved with extreme stealth. As soon as he killed the underworld sovereign, the sacred flame flickered, burning away the last trace of evil power from the sovereign, ensuring his complete destruction. At the same time, the soul-devouring talisman within Xiao Yan continuously absorbed the underworld sovereign's energy. Strangely enough, although the sovereign's power was incredibly evil, each time the talisman absorbed it, none of the evil seemed to affect it in the slightest. After absorbing so much power, your strength should have recovered to the Docian level by now, right? The Golden Dragon King suddenly spoke, addressing the soul-devouring talisman. Yes, replied the Devourer of Souls from within the talisman. There was no reason to hide anything, especially since the Devourer now knew the identity of the Golden Dragon King. The day will come when Xiao Yan and I visit the Ghost Realm. When that time comes, we'll need your help, the Golden Dragon King said with a smile. No problem. I know the Ghost Realm better than either of you. The Devourer of Souls responded, happy to oblige. After all, following Xiao Yan and the Golden Dragon King into the Ghost Realm could bring many benefits, so why not agree? After this brief exchange, the storage ring grew quiet once more. Having finished everything, Xiao Yan's body suddenly collapsed toward the floor of the Grand Hall. Are you all right? Mu Yingying reacted quickly, catching Xiao Yan before he hit the ground. I'm fine, Xiao Yan replied, though it was clear he was struggling. His aura was weak, and his face had turned pale. Song Yu stepped forward, a slight smile on her face. No wonder Xiao Mu chose you. You're just as reckless as he was. She placed a hand on Xiao Yan, injecting a surge of pure energy into his body, stabilizing his condition. At this, Yu Tu and Yuru also stepped forward, concerned. Song Yu, with her keen insight, understood what had happened. Xiao Yan had channeled all of his strength, combined with the power of the sacred flame, to unleash a devastating final attack that killed the underworld sovereign. But such a move, one that damaged both sides, was something only Xiao Yan would dare attempt. I was hoping to kill the twin ghost emperors too, but they managed to escape, Xiao Yan said, his complexion slightly improving. You've done enough. I'll handle the rest, Song Yu reassured him, clearly satisfied with his performance. Suddenly, Xiao Yan seemed to remember something. What about the Jiao Yu Fairy's inheritance stone? Is it all right? He asked anxiously. In the final moments of the battle, he had seen the blood demon envoy throw the inheritance stone aside, causing Song Yu to halt her attack. Otherwise, with the destructive power of Song Yu's Jiao Yu light, one of the blood demon envoy or the nether sovereign would surely have been stopped. I'm sorry for pulling back, but the inheritance stone is too important, Song Yu said, her voice tinged with regret. As long as it's safe, Xiao Yan sighed in relief. His gaze then shifted toward Yuru, noticing something mysterious about her connection to the inheritance stone. Your name is Yuru, right? Song Yu asked, her eyes locking onto the young woman. For some reason, when she looked at Yuru, Song Yu was reminded of her younger self. Yes, Yuru answered softly. After this ordeal, Yuru had come to fully grasp the importance of strength. Without Song Yu's presence, Xiao Yan's efforts to help her would have likely led to their doom. Even so, Xiao Yan had shown no complaints, leaving Yuru feeling a deep sense of gratitude. The mystery of my master's death is still unresolved, so I'll be leaving the ruins for a while, Song Yu said. In the meantime, stay here and focus on receiving the inheritance. With both the inheritance stone and the rune on your forehead, you have a small but real chance. All right, Yuru nodded, though she couldn't help but feel sadness at the thought. She had known this would be the case, but hearing it still stung. Don't worry, everything will be fine, Xiao Yan said, offering her a comforting smile. Xiao Yan, Yuru said softly, nodding at him. Xiao Yan responded, puzzled. Nothing, Yuru replied, suddenly breaking into a smile. Now that everything's settled, we should probably get going, Xiao Yan said, looking around at the group. Let's go together, Mu Yingying added. We'll be leaving too, the heavenly demon whale spoke up. All right, let's move, Xiao Yan nodded without hesitation, and together they dashed out of the grand hall, with the jade rabbit spirit and the heavenly demon whale disappearing alongside them. Now, only Song Yu and Yuru remained in the hall. You like him, don't you? Song Yu asked suddenly. Yuru blushed but nodded slightly. He's a good man, both in strength and in character. Sis Yu. Yuru's face flushed slightly at Song Yao's words, unable to hold back her embarrassment. But that guy is just too exceptional. If you want to stay by his side, you can't afford to remain weak, Song Yao said softly the next moment. Moreover, he's part of the Xiao clan. I think you know exactly what the Xiao clan represents, right? Song Yao continued. I know. That's exactly why I need this inheritance. Yuru's eyes glistened with determination. When I successfully receive the inheritance, I'll stand proudly by his side. I'll watch him, just like the elders of the Xiao clan once did, as he creates miracles once again. At this point, Yuru's gaze was distant, her thoughts seemingly lost in reverie. In that case, let's begin. Song Yao's voice turned serious. Once the inheritance starts, if you succeed, you will emerge like a butterfly from its cocoon. But if you fail, there will be nothing left of you but bones, Song Yao warned. Begin. Yuru's eyes flickered with an unshakable resolve. She knew what it meant to be associated with the Xiao clan. To stand behind someone like that, strength was non-negotiable. With a flash of light, Song Yao activated the inheritance stone in her hand, and a radiant power surged forth. Seeing this, Yuru didn't hesitate. She leapt in. This is the master's legacy. All I want is for another great powerhouse to rise in the great thousand worlds. But you seek enough strength to stand behind Xiao Yan. Though our goals are different, the underlying need is the same. Junior sister, give it your all. With those words, Song Yao waved her hand, sealing the broken hall once again. Xiaomu, I have fulfilled the master's wishes. For the rest of your life, don't even think about escaping me. With everything in place, Song Yao turned and left,